kid. I don't know what to say. Is God listening?
Hey everyone, it's me, Ashton. Are you ready to continue our series about the Lord's Prayer? Well then, come on. We've been learning about prayer in this series called Teach Us to Pray. Oh look, an apple. I love apples. I wonder who left it out here. Oh well, I guess I better pick it up.
Ha-ha! Caught you! You're in my trap.
What? Why did you do that?
You took the bait, now you're in my trap.
Ha ha! Now let me out of here. I have a video to shoot.
Say please.
Let me out of here now!
Uh-oh.
I can't believe my brother did that to me. But, you know, it kind of reminds me of the part of the Lord's Prayer we're learning about today. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Hey, you remember how my brother got me into the trap? He said the apple was bait. Well, temptation is like the bait that leads us into the trap of sin. The devil puts temptation all around us to make us fall into the trap of sin.
The devil is a bad dude. He is very naughty.
He sure is. He's the enemy of our souls. He wants us to fall into the trap of sin more than anything. And that's why we must pray every single day that God will help us not to fall into temptation. There are a lot of things Satan tries to tempt us with. Have you ever been to the store and you didn't have enough money to buy that piece of candy you really wanted? Sometimes Satan puts temptation in front of us to try to make us steal things that don't belong to us. Or have you ever been over at your friend's house for a slumber party? Their parents are in bed and somebody pulls out a DVD of a movie that you know you're not supposed to see. You are tempted to watch something that is totally not good for you. Or maybe you've been in class taking a test. You're sitting right next to the smartest girl in class. It wouldn't take anything just to lean over and look at her answers. The devil lays out a trap of temptation to try to get you to cheat on a test. That's temptation. And no matter how hard he tries, we can't give in to the devil's temptation. We must pray that God will help us stay away from all of Satan's temptations so that we stay out of the trap of sin. If we ask, he will deliver us from temptation and evil. And that brings us to today's big idea. Today's big idea says, I need God's help to avoid temptation. So every time today that you hear this sound,
Hey, what's the big idea?
stand up to your feet and say, I need God's help to avoid temptation. And that's today's big idea. Well, it's time for you to get into your lesson today as you learn about the Lord's Prayer and avoiding temptation. Until next time, this is Ashton reminding you, you can pray every single day. See ya!
Hey boys and girls, it's Dee Dee. I'm coming to you from Sarasota, Florida. We came down to bring Brenna back and headed back tomorrow. Hopefully I'll see you guys real soon. We are in week 5 of the Lord's Prayer, and we're going to do a part on temptation today. But let's review. It's Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us of our debts as we forgive our debtors. And this part says, and lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. So today we're focusing on the part about temptation and delivering us from evil. And you know, God wants us to be free of temptation. And temptation is a tool of our enemy, of the devil, of Satan. And he wants us to trap us in that sin. And so it's kind of like, have you ever been playing hide and go seek and you got in a closet and maybe your brother or sister sat on the door outside and wouldn't let you out and you were trapped? You're like, oh my goodness, let me out. It's scary and I'm trapped. Well, that's exactly what Satan tries to do with sin for us. Sin is most definitely a trap. He lures us, he lies to us, the devil does, and tries to get you to do things that we know are wrong, but he knows things about us. You know, like what how to bait us. So kind of like a mouse in a mouse trap when you put cheese on it and you bait the mouse to come in and then snap and it traps him. Well, that's what the devil does. He's known us our whole life. He knows the things that tempt us to do wrong. So maybe you hang out with friends and you want to be cool and you tell a little lie. Well, it doesn't matter, a little lie or a big lie. We talked about that last week. It's still a sin, right? And he baits us. So he tries to get us in a situation where we feel trapped. Well, maybe your weakness is the lying or stealing or whatever. So he just baits you and he lures you to do the things that are bad. You know, in the Bible with Adam and Eve, God asked Adam and Eve to do one thing. And he said, don't eat from the fruit of the tree of knowledge of good and evil. God gave Adam and Eve clear instructions and told them not to give in to temptation. They had it easy. They didn't have to work. They had everything provided for them. But guess what? Do you remember what happened with Adam and Eve? That mean old ugly devil came and he tempted Adam and Eve. And Adam and Eve, you know, they're strolling through the garden and Satan comes out in the form of a serpent. And he talks to Eve. And he said, hey, Eve, it's okay for you to eat off this tree. It's okay. It's good fruit. And she's probably thinking, well, I know what God said, that I shouldn't eat from that tree. But maybe this time's okay. And the devil just kept tempting her and tempted her. He knows if you eat this fruit, the devil does, you're going to become just like him. Well, it doesn't have to be that way for us. We can avoid falling into the trap of sin. That is why we are learning this part of the prayer today. We must pray that God will lead you away from that trap of sin every single day, boys and girls. You know, I said last week, when you wake up and before you go to bed, say the Lord's Prayer. It just makes your head clear and your mind right, and it gives you peace before you go to sleep, and it wakes you up with a great start. That, Lord, don't let me be tempted by anything the devil puts in my way. We have power that God gives us to resist that temptation. We're not going to be bait for the devil anymore, and we can stand up against that. So pray that prayer. Pray the Lord's Prayer. I love you guys. This has been a fun lesson for me, and I hope it's been for you guys. But I pray for you each and every day, and I hope to see you guys really soon.
If you're feeling all down, feeling kinda weak, let me tell you just what you need. Tomfoolery. Tomfoolery.
Hello kids, it's me, your old friend Tomfoolery. On this one I've got to be really quiet, because today I'm a spy. That's right, today I'm sneaking into the factory that makes my most favourite food ever, gummy bears. That's right, they're so tiny, so squishy, so delectable. Wait a minute, what's this? Do not enter, giant gummy bear. They can't be serious. That's got to be the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. Wait a minute, there's another one right here. Seriously, giant gummy bear, do not enter. That's got to be the most silliest thing I've ever heard. But what if there is a giant gummy bear? I'm so tempted to go inside. Kids, did you see that thing? It was amazing! It really was a huge gummy bear. The signs weren't lying. I should have paid attention, but I was just so tempted to open the door. Wait a minute, tempted? Temptation? That's exactly right. I should have listened to what this week's part of the Lord's Prayer said, and it says,
"And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil."
Matthew 6:13. Splendid! Do you think you've got it, girls? Well, if you could, stand up on your little baby high heels and let's say on the count of 3, 2, 1, go.
And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Matthew 6:13.
Fantabulous job, girls! Have a seat, have a seat. I think it's time that my burly old boys can stand to their little corny old feet and say it together with me now on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Matthew 6:13.
Fantastic job, boys and girls. Have a seat. Listen, have you ever felt like you've been tempted? You know, you feel like you want to do something wrong, something that's a sin. Well, did you know that God can lead us away from temptation and deliver us from evil? So, the next time that you want to do something wrong, just pray to God that He will lead you away from temptation and deliver you from that evil. Now that you've got the premise of this prayer, let's all say it together on the count of 3. Stand up. 1, 2, 3.
And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Matthew 6:13.
Fantastic job, kids, but here comes the tricky part. We're gonna put everything we've learned all together, and it goes a little something like this.
Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil.
All right, now listen, now that you know how it's all laid out, let's say it all together. Everybody, repeat after me, but you got to stand up. Stand up. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3.
Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil.
Wonderful job, boys and girls. Well, after God delivered me from that mean old evil gummy bear, I think it's time for me to take a little bit of a nap. But before I do, I want to leave you with this. Jack be nimble, Jack be quick. Jack jumped over a candlestick. Well, see, nobody was impressed with that feat because, you know, candlesticks are only like a few inches tall and whatnot. Oh well, night-night.
Tomfoolery, tomfoolery, Oh yeah, this is Skittles. I'm gonna introduce you to my little brother Starburst. He's gonna wrap it up.
The devil wants to tempt us all into sin, but we can be strong, we don't have to give in. So listen up, boys and girls all across the nation. You need God's help to avoid temptation. That's right, God will help you stay away from temptation every single time. I'm Starburst, baby. Peace out.